Thank y'all for joining me. I'm really excited about the idea of having a travel group to where people all contribute. We all pitch in some small way, and then we're all booking separately, but we're coming together as a unit, as a group. So I got my notes because I can get all off kilter and just start talking. So I'm going to start with the mission of this entire group is completely inclusive. So all ages, all races, all sexual orientations. I love people. I love women. So I want everyone to feel comfortable. This will also be extrovert and introvert friendly. I feel like I have like a dual personality. So sometimes I'm ready to turn up and be loud and all that stuff. And then sometimes I just want to sit in the corner and be around people, but not with all of the yes, yes. So I want to do a little something that works for everybody. But the beauty of the idea that I have is that although we'll be moving together and we'll be a unit, you don't have to do every little thing. You can pick and choose what works best for you, what works best for your vibe. And I really would like us to do our welcome dinner together. I really would like us to do one excursion together. But outside of that, I really want everyone to just pick what fits best with what they like. One band, one sound. So I want every member to contribute something in some kind of way. So if you're really good at line dances, you'll be teaching a line dance. If you're really good at HR, I may have you in charge of maybe keeping everyone's emergency contact information. I mean, whatever you are good at, it can help in this group. And I feel like if everyone contributes in a small way, it'll make us all feel really comfortable with each other, for one, because we'll have time to learn each other. But not only that, it'll be an important group. Like, I don't want it to be I'm throwing my money and I show up somewhere, because that takes away from the community, and I really wanted community. I do want us to have a farewell dinner or a welcoming dinner, depending on what works best, which I will ask for a deposit for. Now, the deposit will not go poof. It will go to securing the venue for all of us to fit, all of us to be together. Because I think that us having that community will really help as well. Basic ground rules is to respect everyone's privacy. So even though I'm a social media manager and I'm a social media girl, I love the things. I don't want people feeling uncomfortable, like they can't enjoy their vacation without a camera in their face. So there'll be a time and a place where we can capture things, or capturing things on your own, of course, but it should not be documentation of everybody. I'm not going to reveal all of the travel plans until you are legitly in the group, just for safety purposes. I'm very big on safety. We are a bunch of women, and I don't think it's safe to blast out exactly where we're going, how we're going, where we're staying, to the world. You know, that should be something that's very private to us. And then once we get back, we can do recaps and all that fun stuff. I'm looking at a ballpark range, the February to early March timeframe of 2026. I didn't want to do anything this year because I wanted to give everyone, one, time for budget. Everything is so expensive right now. So I wanted to give everyone a chance to save. Then two, I wanted to give us opportunity to build this thing up. This is very new for me. I have a customer service and HR background, so I know what I like and the things that matter to me, but I want to hear what everyone else thinks, and I want to hear what's important to them as well, and give us a chance to really build this thing from the ground up, because I think it can be really, really special. Area, I am always looking at out of the country. So you will need a passport for this. If you don't have your passport right now, you still have time to get it. You'll have plenty of time to get it. Or if you're in a boat like me, I have a passport, but my passport is about to expire. So I'm about to switch over to getting a new passport and all of that. So it gives plenty of time, looking at that February to early March. And from what I've put together, so you know what you're looking at for price wise, just the trip itself. If you don't want to do any of the extra excursions, you just want to do the laid back feel just with us, just the trip itself will be about $1,500 total. That's including your flight, that's including your hotel. We're looking at 5 days. So yeah, that'll be a round trip flight, which is about $300 to $400. And then your hotel, if you plan on staying by yourself, is about 1,100, but is an all inclusive. So all of your food is included in that as well. If you decide to travel with somebody, or if you want to split a room with someone in the group, it puts the room up a little bit more to $1,450 for a double room. However, that drops your rate that you're paying out of pocket. So that's an option as well. And then, like I said, that $100 group deposit is going to go to either our welcome dinner or our farewell dinner, just so we can have something really nice with everybody together. I plan on having something for every single day that we are out. So Thursdays will look like a welcome dinner. Friday will be wellness book club. I love to read, so I would love for us to get like a little book club going on. I think that'll be really cool. Saturday, I'm thinking more of like a boat trip. Sunday, I'm thinking more of an excursion like ATVs and something like that. So just basic framing of a trip, but that way it has a little something for everybody and you get to pick and choose what works best for you. Since you'll be booking all of your things yourself, I want this group to also be informative. So I've learned how to travel on a budget because I've been doing it for the last 8 years. I do it for my family, and I'll be teaching you guys all the little tips and tricks that I use, including now Klarna, Afterpay, and Airfordable. So all three of those allows you to kind of break your payments up in like a layaway kind of thing. And then the hotel that I chose, as of right now, they do not require any deposits. So as soon as you book, you just book them. And then once you get there and you're checking in, that's when you pay. So if you're putting your money to the side, that works great. Or if you're just using like, oh, I get paid that week, I can use those funds that week. It gives you that option as well. So very affordable, very user friendly. Another thing that will be a part of this group will be a group chat. So I want us, again, community, I want us to be together, learn about each other. Book club access, we'll pick a book that we're going to read, something very leisurely that we can read together. Like I said, the cheap travel hacks and tips for the budget. And then 2, I am curves and cardio. So as you guys may not know, I have lost 50 pounds working out at home. So I'll be giving workout routines in case you're interested. Like, and even if you're not interested in losing weight, just moving your body is a blessing. I always remind people of that. So it's a good thing to join in as well. And then sisterhood, having people that want to travel, have like-minded things, and being in the way is just really, really cool. So everyone contributes something small. So I will give tasks based on your strengths. That way we all feel like we're a community. I need like a book club leader. I need a spiritual warrior, someone who can maybe lead prayer while we're on the beach. I need a head counter to make sure we got everybody. We want to be safe. I need someone to keep the emergency contacts in case, heaven forbid, like nothing happens. But if it does, we can easily pull up emergency information. So then also it puts the responsibility on the travelers because you need to know your drinking limits. You need to remember that we are your friends, not your mom. So we should not have to tell you not to wander off with strangers or to not to drink too much. You should know what your budget is. You should know what your triggers are. If you know all of these things and you're a full functioning adult, we should not have any issues. But I just want to make sure that if we go together, we come back embracing each other even more and it's not any issues. So I feel like if we have honest conversations at the front, we have clear expectations while we're there, there will be no issues on the back end. That's a great question. So no, everyone's air flight is going to be different. So this is where the training on how to find cheap flights is going to come into play, because since the trip is further out, we have more opportunities to have cheaper flights. I will also show you guys how to track flights to where you can keep it on your radar for Google, to where anytime there's a price drop, you'll get a notification for it. And using travel things like Airfordable will allow you to break up your prices if you need to as well. So no, everyone's price is going to be a little bit different. The only price that will be standard for everybody is the hotel, but your flights will differ depending on where you're coming from. That was a really good question. that I'm thinking about is Dominican Republic. So I have not shared the time frame because as I was saying before, since we are a group of women, I want us to travel safely. I am very strict on people not I'm very strict on the world not knowing where I'm going until I'm back, if that makes sense. Just because you'll be so surprised how weird people can be out into this world. So once you completely join the group, you'll get all of the official dates. But we are looking at the February to early March timeframe. So that gives plenty of time for getting your budget together, plenty of time for, setting up your work obligations, kid obligations. I'm a mom. I understand how people have to move things around. But yeah, once you actively are in the group, then we will definitely disclose everything. I just want to make sure that it's not so public to where everyone just has our location, if that kind of makes sense. But I want to make sure that this structure works for everybody to where you're paying your own way. You're responsible for your own travel. The only thing that I will be putting together is our group excursions. And even those group excursions, you are not obligated to join. So if there's something that you see and you're like, I don't even like boats. Like, I'm not trying to be on no sailboat. Then you can be like, I don't want to do that. And that's totally fine. My goal for the excursions is to try to get us the best deals. So once I get a final head count and the people who are interested in each excursion, I can go to these vendors and say, hey, I have X amount of ladies. What can we do about price? So where we can buckle it down. But all of the excursions that I'm looking at are either $75 or less. The only one that's at $100 comes with so much stuff that, if you want to. So I'm sorry. Also, let me say this. The trip I was saying would be flight, depending on where you're coming from, we're looking at about $300 to $400. If you are staying in a room by yourself, the hotel is looking about $1,100, but that includes all of your food, and it's all inclusive, all of your drinks as well. So even if you just stay at the hotel and do nothing else, you can have a full-fledged vacation. That's really great. If you decide to split a room, because I don't mind splitting a room with somebody. I only mind splitting a room and my price goes up. Like if I'm splitting a room, my price needs to go down. So if you split a room, obviously your price will be split in half, but the room goes up a little bit, about $300. So just the trip itself, approximately $1,500. The group rate, that $100 for our farewell dinner or a welcome dinner, $100, but you'll be getting that money into your dinner. And then all in, if you do every excursion I'm thinking about, it's about $1,800 total. But since we're not traveling for another August, September, October, December, another 7 months, you have plenty of time to break it down. And as I said too, in this group, I'll be teaching you about Klarna, Afterpay, and Airfordable so that you can make your payment arrangements. Everyone to share their experiences and their opportunities. And then also keep in mind too, with us being able to book ourselves, that also gives you the option to use your credit card points, to use your hotel points, all of those things. So it doesn't take away. And even if you're not able to use points for the trip, at least you'll be able to gain points from the trip because you're making your own profiles with these companies. So, but my main thing is just making sure that we all are first respectful of everybody's space and time, including like taking videos and stuff. Of course, if you want to get your, fit checks, do that obviously. But as everyone else is enjoying their vacation, being mindful that not everybody wants everything on the internet, knowing that we are all inclusive. So races, sizes, ages, sexual orientations, all of that are welcome. And then also knowing that we're going to try to keep things as affordable as possible. Even though $1,800 is nothing to sneeze at, I'm not taking that away. But for a 5-day trip out of the country, including everything, I think that's a really great price just to get out of there. Because what started this whole thing off is I really like traveling with others. And I was lucky enough to experience that over the pandemic. Everything was extremely cheap. We used to have to do all of the COVID testing in and out the country. But because of that, the world was still, and, we could travel for cheap and it was beautiful. But now when I look at these travel groups, it's like, yeah, you're splitting a room and you're paying $1 gazillion. And it's like, what? The math don't math for me. So I'm trying to make sure that the math maths for everybody. The fun is fun. So this is great for if you want to go out and club, we're going to have some things with that. But then if you also want to be book club by the beach, prayer time, we're going to have some of that too. So you can pick and choose what works best for you. And we can kind of make it into one big thing. And that way you have a buddy, because at the end of the day, you'll at least have one person in the group who's wanting to do something you want to do. So it should be great. Okay, so I had 55 people sign up in email, right? And I know that's going to trickle down. We have 5 people that made it to the actual event. So I'm thinking I would have no more than 10 women. I do not foresee it being more than that. I think it's going to be a smaller group. I think it'll be better the smaller the better, because we'll have more time to have that community piece. And then once we get one knocked out and we figure out the kinks and, my favorite quote, the unknown unknowns, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know to even know what you don't know. So once we figure all those things out and we decide to do it again, I think it will grow from there. But the first trip, I really don't foresee it being more than 10 of us. I'm going to send this out with a roundup email just with everybody. And then I'm also going to send out my Zelle information and what you need to put in the notes for that deposit. And again, the deposit is non-refundable for the trip, but for some reason the trip is canceled because outside is absolutely crazy. If it's something like that, absolutely. But if it's just you had a change of plans, I won't have time to go back and forth with that kind of thing. But I want something to where we can all be connected and chat and talk. And then I also would love for us to have a meeting once a month, nothing too crazy, maybe 30 minutes, just so that we can come together, ask any questions, and also delegate our roles, because I really think it's important for everybody to have a little piece of responsibility for this trip. For one, it takes a lot of stuff off of me since I'm not being compensated or anything for the trip. But then 2, it really allows us to pour into each other and see our strengths and be like, okay, I'm gonna go to so-and-so for such and such, and I'm gonna go to such and such for so-and-so. So I think that'll work too. So typically I like to travel Thursday to Monday. I know some people don't want to take that many days off because that's essentially taking 3 days off of work. So if you want to join us Friday to Sunday, that's totally fine, So, but typically the first day will be just like a welcome dinner, arrival, us getting to hug each other's neck in person, just very chill. And then we'll roll into like a wellness day, a boat trip day, excursion day, and then some kind of like club situation. And then I'm thinking on the way out on that Monday will be like a goodbye breakfast before people start heading back to their destinations or their home.
Email password made it out the group chat.
So yeah, I'm gonna give y'all all the tips and tricks that I have because I want y'all to be able to comfortably travel with us. I don't want you to be penny pitching, but the beauty of staying at all inclusive is that you're gonna eat and drink regardless, so you're gonna have at least that basicness to where, if you just like hanging at the pool, that really works, so it really does work. But I'm so happy that you were able to join me. I'm so happy that you are interested. But I want to stress too that if my idea of travel is not your idea of travel, there is no harm, no foul. I love you just the same.